Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here at my time at KSU, I'd like to think I've developed pretty heavily as an individual, both academically and personally. I came to KSU with no real idea of what I wanted to do in the future, or even what type of degree or field I'd like to pursue. To be completely honest, I came here primarily because my mother wanted me to get a higher education. She sacrificed a lot to put me through the high school I attended, so I figured I at least owed her that much. As time went on, and I completed more and more of my core classes, the need to finally settle down into a major field became more pressing. I initially wanted to go into exercise science, as I felt I would enjoy it, but quickly decided against sticking to that path when I discovered calculus was required for all science majors. Go figure. Instead, I came upon the Integrative Studies program and was delighted by the very premise of it, a major that I could develop on my own. I quickly developed my proposal for a criminal justice/leadership degree and was accepted into the program without a hitch. I've spent the last 2 years pursuing those fields and genuinely coming to love and grow attached to the fields of study, something that was rare in my previous academic experiences. Currently in my final semester here at KSU, I'm already kind of anticipating the hole that graduating is going to leave. I've really enjoyed my time here academically and treasure the relationships I've developed with fellow students and teachers alike. Which leads into the personal growth segment of my video. As I sat down to write this assignment, I really took a moment to look back and consider all of the amazing people I've met in my time here at Kennesaw. Some of those I'm still close with, others not so much. I made friends with people from every walk of life, and many from even other parts of the world. The amount of cultures and lifestyles that I've been exposed to and interacted with, I feel, have genuinely impacted me for the better and helped me learn and grow as a person. I feel as though many of those experiences will help me in both professional and personal settings later in life, and I owe much of that knowledge and experience to KSU. I'd now like to transition into the second part of the prompt provided by our professor, the look into the future, if you will. I've personally never been an individual too big into planning. I understand why many people enjoy the question of where do you see yourself in 10 years and other questions to that effect, but those have never really resonated with me. I believe I'm more of a go with the flow and deal with whatever life throws at you type person. At least I am sometimes. But for the sake of this assignment, I really sat down and took time to develop a plan for my future. And I'm honestly pretty happy with the results. As you can see here, I've drawn a 1-to-1 replica of the United States of America. On this beautiful depiction of the US of A, you can see a variety of dots, as well as a highly circled area. These dots and other illustrations roughly depict every location of Krispy Kreme donuts in the continental United States. According to my research on Google, there are roughly 150 locations total. The future I've envisioned for myself is a roughly 1-year round trip of the United States, visiting every location of Krispy Kreme donuts along the way. Krispy Kreme, founded in 1937 by Vernon Rudolph, has locations from the hot beaches of Florida all the way to the chilly coasts of Washington State. According to my calculations, visiting all 150 locations in the span of a year should give me ample time to both travel and enjoy the scenery along the way. There we go. As you can see indicated by the dark circle on my map, this area is the most heavily concentrated population of Krispy Kreme donuts in the US. I've decided to dub this area the Cream Zone, or Crispy Alley, but I've yet to decide on a final name. If you like, your response to this video can include your vote for the final name. I believe the bulk of my time will be spent in this location simply due to the high volume of Krispy Kremes in this area. If you look closely into the Cream Zone, you can see a crown-like figure. I've drawn this to indicate Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the location of the first ever Krispy Kreme donuts and the current headquarters of the corporation as a whole. This location is the mecca of my Krispy Kreme pilgrimage, if you will. I may spend significantly more time here to pay respects to the great founders of our beloved pastry empire, but we'll just have to see what happens when I get there. Finally, There is a second portion of the prompt provided by our professor for this assignment, and that is the question of how do you plan to get there? After a bit of contemplated and careful consideration, my final answer landed on the 2019 GMC Savannah 2500. Displayed here, the Savannah can hold up to 12 people and gets roughly 11 miles to the gallon in the city and 16 miles to the gallon on the highway. I believe this will be ample room for my journey, as this will most likely double as my living quarters to help reduce the cost of the trip. Currently, the Savannah 2500 runs about $35,000 a pop. With a round trip of America coast to coast and back consisting of roughly 6,000 miles, I will require about 428 gallons of gas. If gas roughly stays at the current price of $2.20 a gallon, I'd spend roughly $942 on gas. Moving on to the cost of donuts, if I spent roughly $8 on a dozen donuts at every Krispy Kreme in the nation, I'd spend about $1,200 on donuts over the course of my trip. Assuming those are the only expenditures and donuts are the sole means of my sustenance, the entire venture will cost me roughly $37,142. A small price to pay for such a valuable life experience, in my humble opinion. This has been my self-reflection video, and I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you.